Because it's Patrick's Day, we're gonna be funny today. I mean, it's not really Patrick's Day. It's more like my fucking birthday, bitch.
Poopy funny, ha 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 ha. Poop 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 funny, yay!
Happy birthday to you.
No! God, please, no!
In a couple of days, it's gonna be my birthday. And I decided to do something stupid. Something that will go on in memory as maybe the stupidest thing I've ever done. I'm gonna become a mayor. Yeah, gonna become a mayor of a very small town in the deep south of Kentucky. Yep, that's where I'm going. I'm gonna move there, gonna be a rancher. Or did I say mayor? Can I be a rancher mayor? And I'm definitely not saying this because I recently finished Red Dead Redemption 2.
You need a ride home, ma'am?
Oh yes, mister, please. Thank you.
Anyways, today we're here because we're gonna be doing something quite idiotic, as I was saying before. I decided to rank shitty things once more. Today we're gonna be ranking 27 Patricks.
You son of a bitch! I'm in!
Because I'm gonna be turning 27 soon. I don't know if you noticed, I don't know if you know, but I'm a bit of an old guy. Bit old. That's why I don't have any hair, just in case you were wondering.
We are so old.
And today we're gonna be ranking Patricks. I wanted to do just cinematic Patricks. I wanted to do animated characters and maybe sometimes actors who transcended their own Patrickness so much that you don't see the actor anymore, you only see the Patrick, right? The thing is, we don't have enough of those. We don't have enough interesting characters and memorable characters whose name is Patrick, so I had to go deeper. I had to go into further artists. I had to go into historical figures. I had to go into weird professional wrestlers and even serial killers. What can I say? Patricks are really weird. But let's start with 4 categories, as I always do, of course. And the best category is gonna be Happy Patrick, bitch! That goes to Breaking Bad, of course.
Bitch!
Little bitch.
I made you my bitch!
Jesse.
Bitch! Yeah, bitch! Jesse!
Bitch.
My good category is gonna be Krabby Patty. The mediocre one is gonna be Pat Pat. You know when you give those very condescending pats on people's heads when they've either disappointed you quite a lot or they've said something so incredibly dumb and stupid that you don't even know what to do with them, so you just pat them on the head until they disappear in a puddle of shame. And our worst category is gonna be Sir Pat Crap a Lot. We're gonna be starting today with a weird film, which is called The Patrick. What is The Patrick? It's a movie that I can't find in my notes right now.
Det är alltid lika Patrick. Patrick!
Patrick.
Patrick!
Patrick.
Sometimes to get what you want, you have to not want what you want. Think about it.
So if you're wondering what Patrick is, it's basically a movie from Belgium and it stars a character who loses his hammer. His name is Patrick, of course, ergo the name of the movie. He's living in this weird community in the woods and everybody seems to be naked and horny most of the times, and he really cares about his hammer and it's probably a symbol for his manhood. I like this Patrick. He seems to be a really chill Patrick. He's not very good looking, but Patricks are not that good looking. I mean, you just have to look at me.
Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
Pat. I feel sorry for this Patrick, you know? Since I haven't seen the film, I can't really say anything else about it. The next one is an actual good Patrick and it's called Neil Patrick Harris.
Security, get him out of here!
No, come on, let me get one
Neil,
number.
go
One
away.
number! It's not a gift, it's a disease!
We agree with you!
I really like this actor, to be honest. I fell in love with this man because of How I Met Your Mother, and he's kind of playing a very sexist, misogynistic Patrick there.
Model.
Hi.
I know, right? This party is legend. Wait for it.
I know his name is not Patrick, but everybody knows him as Neil Patrick Harris. Like, you cannot take away the Patrick from every single character that he's used within his filmography. And I did really like his performance in A Series of Unfortunate Events, for example, when he was playing Count Patrick. I meant Count Olaf, I'm sorry. I'm getting Patricked myself.
Patrick, can you shut the fuck up?
Wrong.
I will put it into Happy Patrick, bitch! Yeah! Neil Patrick Harris is a good Patrick. Plus, it might even be the first and maybe even the only queer representation when it comes to our Patrick list. This guy here is from the movie There Is Something About Mary. His name is Pat Healy and he's incredibly creepy.
So one day, Mongo gets out of his cage.
What, they keep him in a cage?
Well, it's just an enclosure.
No, but they keep him confined.
Right, yeah.
That's bullshit.
Well, that's what I said. So I went out and I got him a leash.
A leash?
Yeah, one of those ones you can hook onto the clothesline, and he can run back and forth, and there's plenty of room for him to dig and play.
I do like his character because he's playing this weird like bounty hunter, but at the same time he's trying to date the girl, and Ben Stiller I think asked him to get some information on her. It is a movie that is really sexist once again because they're trying to manipulate this girl played by Cameron Diaz, who is Mary of course, into dating this other guy played by Ben Stiller, but everybody is in love with her, and including this guy here, and everybody fucking sucks. I love the movie, to be honest, because it really represents that kind of like toxic masculinity thing of you're just a girl living your normal life and you've got all of these creeps who are lying to you in order to get into your pants, you know? I think he's a really memorable Patrick, you know? But at the same time, he's a bit of a bad Patrick. He's a bit of a bad guy. So I'll put it into low tier Pat, you know? Because I want you to know that Patricks are not always like this. Plus, look at his ridiculous mustache. I know. Patricks and mustaches don't work. And I'm gonna put a picture here that proves it. This guy here, I know what you're thinking. There is no way that this guy's name is Patrick, right? And apparently it's his nickname. I probably know why he chose like such a white name as a nickname, because he's a Japanese actor called Noriyuki Morita, and he's mostly known for playing Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid, but he also voiced the Emperor of China in the movie Mulan.
Now, D nice.
Do you mean Denise?
Son of a bitch! You say your name right now.
Denise?
Say it right.
Denise.
Correctly.
Denise.
Right.
Denise.
Right.
D-nice.
That's better. Thank you.
And very often I know that Asian people will choose a really white name to help out, especially when it comes to Hollywood, people who cannot pronounce any other type of weird name. And be like, okay, you can call me like this so that I don't have to spend like 5 minutes looking at you as you try to pronounce my name. But I love this guy. He's such a gorgeous person, and I will put it into Krabby Patty. This guy here, it's Pat Rowe, and this is what I was talking about before when it comes to wrestlers. But the thing is, this is not just a normal wrestler. This is a wrestler who turned actor, like Dwayne Johnson, for example. And maybe you recognize him because he's played a lot of different roles in the Indiana Jones movies. He was actually in Willow as well, and he actually starred in Stanley Kubrick's movies like Barry Lyndon and A Clockwork Orange. So this Patrick here, he fucks. Look at that bod as well. This is a good bear Patrick, you know? I like him. He's a good guy. I'm gonna put it into Krabby Patty as well. Maybe under Noriyuki Morita because, you know, Mr. Miyagi is the boss. This guy here is the entire reason why I wanted to make this video. It's Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. He's a super iconic character, and the thing is, I love how the movie like kind of represents him in a very pathetic way, and it's the same thing when it comes to the book as well. You end up feeling sorry for him because he's just not in control of anything, and I feel like he's a very realistic portrayal of someone who would be a psychopath, but that he had so many mental health issues that he wouldn't be able to control anything, and he would lose touch with reality itself, you know?
Why isn't it possible? It's just not. Why not, you stupid bastard?
Well, very often when they're trying to portray sociopath or psychopath, they portray them in these very unrealistic ways where they're always right, they always manage to get the work done. Well, Patrick Bateman is 100% a loser, and even though he pretends that he's in control of everything, he's actually not. But I will put him up there because I'm pretty sure that when people think about Patrick, they think about Patrick Bateman. So even though he's a bad guy, he defines the Patrickness nowadays. This guy here is another exception to the rule that I was talking about before, and this guy is a French guy. This is a French Patrick. Patrick is actually a really common name of a specific generation here in France, so boomers. There are not that many Patricks, for example, from my generation. I haven't met that many, which is super weird. So this guy is called Patrick de Gaillardon de Fenil, if I'm pronouncing that right, because I have no idea how to pronounce the end of his last name. And this is where the moment I just realized that I don't know how to say this in English. He's a parachutist, so he jumps wearing parachutes. Historical figure. He's done more than 12,000 jumps in his entire career, and I decided to put him here mostly because I discovered that he's the one who actually invented the wingsuit. So you know the wingsuit that you see even in the Batman movie, the wingsuit that you've seen in other films as well, and that people use to just like basically float around and get down mountains or whatever the fuck. It's a really dangerous sport. But he's one of those people who actually created that thing, and it's insane. And of course, it's thanks to him that we got really cool scenes in the 007 movie, especially GoldenEye. He's the inspiration for that specific scene, for example. This guy here is a really good looking Patrick. This is the thing, you know, as I was growing up and I was just looking for other Patricks in the world, celebrities and stuff like that, the next two guys and other people later on are the people that I looked up to, being like, oh wow, Patricks can be so fucking gorgeous, you know? Patrick Dempsey. I like this guy. I've never seen Grey's Anatomy, but I do remember him from the Scream franchise. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, Sidney Prescott is still married to the character played by this guy here in the Scream franchise. And I like him. He's super sweet, and I think he's still a really memorable Patrick. Every single time that I see him, I'm like, this is Patrick Dempsey. Yeah, 100%. This is another Patrick, another actor whose name is Patrick Jane. The Mentalist used to be like quite popular back then, 10 years ago? No, 15 years ago, right? I haven't seen Patrick Jane in that many films. He's a really good looking Patrick, but I don't think he's a really talented Patrick, you know? I will put it into Pat just because I don't think that he's that memorable. And here we've got a weird cult movie that is called Patrick.
Is that why you murdered your mother, Patrick?
Patrick.
Because I don't know if you know, but Patricks can be evil. And this movie here is an Australian movie, and it's actually part of the Ausploitation genre, which is basically the exploitation horror genre, but for the Aussie industry, so the Australian industry. I didn't even know it existed. Like, I really like when these videos, like, they allow me to go into weird researches and find weird things like that. For example, Mad Max is considered to be one of those films, and I really see why, because it's a very like dirty movie. It does feel like an exploitation film when you think about it. And the story behind Patrick, it's basically that this guy here was in a coma who killed his parents, if I'm not mistaken. He wakes up and he has weird telekinetic powers, and he just stalks nurses and he stalks people. I've never seen it. I really want to see it. And just because of how iconic this is, I will put it up there into Happy Patrick, bitch, because I have a cult movie called By My Name. Can you say the same? Do you know any other films called Alex, John, Jack, Tom, Will? No.
May we introduce you to Patrick? Is playing dead, or is he?
Of course, for every single good Patrick movie, we have to have a really bad Patrick movie. This is Patrick the Pug. I watched the trailer for this movie and I was like, I will never watch this film. I would rather shoot myself than watch this film. This is going to be our first Sir Pat a Crap a Lot, because fuck this film. How dare you call dogs Patrick? The name Patrick is just too good. You cannot give it to animal, unless it's a cool animal, like a parrot. Yeah, if you have a parrot, you can call it Patrick. I don't mind.
A
Okay, you're freaking me out now. Is it my driving?
The next one is Patrickson, and he's a weathercast man who works within the universe of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and he's a really mean one because he's always making fun of his co-workers, and he's got the most Patrick name ever as well. He's got a double Patrick. He's got a Patrick in his name and Patrick in his family name, which is a cool thing. Respect at the end of the day. But he's not that memorable, and he's a mean one. So I would put him into Pat. Of course, I had to put Patrick Star. I don't even know how many times in my lifetime people have made SpongeBob jokes at me, and even not to me, they just screamed SpongeBob jokes at me. So not even to make me laugh, it's literally just be like, haha, you know, like Nelson, with the things that he does in The Simpsons. Literally, people my whole life have been doing this. I don't mind it because I think that Patrick is a really funny character at the end of the day. And even when you type Patrick, even before seeing like all the St. Patrick stuff, you see the SpongeBob character. It's insane. Whatever you try to Google when it comes to Patrick, this is the first thing that you see. So this is an iconic pack, and we have to put it into Happy Patrick Bitch, because there is no way I can get rid of the image of Patrick from my dreams, nightmares, and aspirations.
You thought I was asleep, didn't you? Acting. Good night.
This is a guy that we all love. Yeah, I know. It's Picard. This is yet another Patrick. It's Patrick Stewart. A guy that I absolutely love because of the X-Men franchise, because of what he did in Star Trek, and because every single time he's in a film, I just love him. He's just a really good person. He's one of the best Patricks out there. And also, I think he was bold quite young within his career, so this is definitely the Patrick that looks the most like me. Respect. This is gonna be my favorite Patrick ever. This is the guy that will turn anyone who's straight into either gay or bi or pan. It's Patrick Swayze, the dream boy from Dirty Dancing and Point Break, and a lot of different films like Ghost.
Oh!
And in every single film, he's such a thirst boy. Look at him. Look at his eyes. Get lost into his eyes. Don't you wanna just put your hand through his hair when you see pictures of him or when you see him in movies? Just love this guy. I just love Patrick Swayze, and it's really sad that I think he died quite young. I think he died in his 50s, which is young in our day and age, you know, especially for an actor who I don't think he was ever even related to drugs and that kind of stuff, you know. But I think he's definitely up there. He's one of my favorite Patricks ever. There, let's put it right under Patrick Bateman.
You're misinterpreting the competition. It's Master Chef, not Master Bait.
This guy here, I actually forgot that this guy's name is Patrick Vervona. Of course, it's Heath Ledger, and we could argue that we remember him as Heath Ledger more than his characters' names and stuff like that. But really good character within the film itself. 10 Things I Hate About You. I really like that film, and I really like his character as well.
But mostly I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Not even at all.
Oh, no.
and how he interacts with everyone else, and especially a really young Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's up there. In Krabby Patty, he's a good guy. He's a good boy. What a good boy. Once again, a beautiful looking Patrick as well. And here we've got another exception. This guy is a musician, and his name is Patrick Watson. I will try to put some of his music. I don't know whether I'll get copyright striked or whatever, but I do love his music, and I've been listening to it for years and years and years. It's quite melancholic and it's quite sad, but also it's really, really beautiful.
Gets in his car and drives away far from all things that we are.
For me, it's kind of the perfect music that would fit like movies, but he doesn't have the same fame that Alexandre Desplat had, for example, which is a shame because I feel like they have almost the same style. I would put him into Krabby Patty as well, but maybe low tier, just because like musicians, you know, some, especially this kind of music, you don't really recognize them for their face, but mostly because of their music themselves. And Patrick's faces are important. And you will see it with the next one, Patrick Wilson. Patrick Wilson has got a really memorable face, and he always looks the same in every single film that he's in.
Imagine what our kids would look like, though.
But sometimes they did.
You dirty little nut.
I love working with this dude. I love, and it's even a greater family.
And I really like him, to be honest. He's up there with Neil Patrick Harris, you know, when it comes to perfect looking Patricks. Look at his genetics, right? Look at his muscles. Look at that cheekbone, right? Patrick genetics. This is getting weird. So this guy here, I actually remember seeing this anime series. It's called Gundam, of course, but I don't remember this character at all.
Colonel, how come I'm not out there piloting one of those mobile suits?
I understand you're supposed to be indestructible or something. I'm counting on that luck to keep us alive.
Ah, that's good enough for me.
His name is Patrick Colasor, and he is of course a fictional character. Do I even need to say it? What if it was a real person, like fighting other robots with big giant robots, right? But I really liked his descriptions, like on Wikipedia, because it said that Patrick is overall highly egotistical, disproportionately overconfident, a show-off, a dedicated soldier, dim-witted, a glory hounder, and a womanizer. He thinks he's the best there is, and often makes a grandiose introduction whenever he can to make a lasting and memorable effect on people. And probably one of the greatest abilities that Patrick has is his dumb luck. I just love the way that he's portrayed, right? And of course, look at the beautiful haircut as well. I cannot testify whether I like the character because I don't remember, but I do love how he's been described here. I would put it into the Krabby Patty once again. There. Yeah, I like it there. This is an historical Patrick. This historical Patrick here is called the Patrick Henry and Planter. And when I read Planter, do you mean plantations? As in this guy owned plantations?
Gosh, ain't I repulsive?
Okay, let's keep going. He's politician and orator known.
Know your fucking place, trash. Fucking robots. Don't give a fuck about no robots. They ain't got no soul.
The next Patrick here is yet another film called The Patrick's Day. This is our first Irish movie, and it's basically about a really warm and open 26-year-old virgin schizophrenic. Perfect. Yeah, this is me, 100% me. And basically he falls in love with someone, but unfortunately this girl here is called Karen. She's a suicidal flight attendant, and yeah, let's just say they're not the best couple, right? I like the trailer of this movie when I watched it, and I love some depressive representation when it comes to Patrick's because it's really part of the core of our personality. Let's put it into high tier Pat. There. We've got another Patrick. This is the remake of the original Patrick that I was talking about before. The poster looks incredibly abysmal, but when I was looking up the reviews, they were actually quite positive. I think he has like 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, which was kind of surprising at the end of the day.
I'm not yours, Patrick. I never will be.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Because I thought this was supposed to be really bad. This is called The Patrick Evil Awakens, by the way. Yeah, because Patrick wasn't enough. You needed to add the Evil Awakens, which makes it sound like a really stupid direct-to-DVD movie, you know? Just in case you were wondering, this is not actually the second movie within the franchise of Patrick or whatever. There is this Italian director called Mario Landi, and he made like an unofficial sequel to Patrick, which is called Patrick Vive Ancora. And I just found it incredibly funny that that movie exists. And weird guy in Italy was just like, I love this exploitation movie, let's make a sequel without having the rights. Funny. I wish I had the image of the Italian Patrick here.
You serious?
But instead I have to rank the remake. Listen, I will put it into Pat just because I don't like the idea of remaking cult movies in general, you know? Yeah, there. No, I cannot put it under Patrick Healy because Pat Healy is just weird. The next one is gonna be Postman Pat. I remember watching this weird British stop motion animated series back then, and he always seemed incredibly cute. Plus, being a postman is fun. It's a fun job for a Patrick. I would probably be a postman if I could.
Help! Get me out of here, will you?
Come on then, let's be having you.
Oh! Ow! Get back to me!
People really love receiving gifts from Amazon these days, and they love Postmans even more. I will put Postman Pat into Krabby Patty. Yeah, because I don't really have anything to say when it comes to his personality, because at the end of the day, he's like a children cartoons character, you know? So he's not very three-dimensional at the end of the day. So I know what you're thinking. Here we've got Sir Nearly Headless Nick, and his name is not Patrick, but I put this picture here because the character that I'm referring to actually was not really portrayed within the Harry Potter movies, but he is actually in the books themselves. And I am talking about Patrick Podmore, or also Patrick Delaney Podmore. And there are actually some Podmore characters within the movies themselves, so it is actually possible that they're related to this specific ghost here. And he is in charge of the Headless Hunt, and he's the one who actually banished Nearly Headless Nick, and he didn't let him participate to the Headless Hunt, which is a really important celebration for ghosts in Hogwarts, because he's nearly headless. He was not cleanly decapitated. And that's why they decided to put Nearly Headless Nick here in this picture. I mean, come on. What's the difference in between being nearly decapitated and completely decapitated? Those are like such small details. And when you're dead, who cares at the end of the day, right? So it really sucks that they really ostracized this really cute character, who is also played one of my favorite actors ever, who is within the Monty Python.
Hello! How are you? Welcome to Gryffindor.
The next one here is gonna be the one and only St. Patrick. And I actually tried to find a couple of anecdotes about St. Patrick, because at the end of the day, St. Patrick was actually a really badass person. Did you know, for example, why the shamrock is considered to be like a really important symbol within Irish culture? And it's basically because St. Patrick used the shamrock to explain like the Christian doctrine to people, and to explain how the Holy Trinity works. And this is why the shamrock is so important, and this is also why it says that it brings good luck, because it basically relates to Christianity once more, and to the Holy Trinity, and to God himself. Really cool anecdote, right?
Wow. 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 Wow.
And the other thing, which is really funny, apparently in Ireland there's no snakes, there is not a single snake, and it is basically St. Patrick who banished all the snakes from Ireland. I'm not even kidding. Like, the absence of snakes in Ireland has been noted from as early as the 3rd century by Gaius Julius Solinus, but the later legend has attributed the banishment of all the snakes from the island to St. Patrick himself. So, Irish followers, let me know in the comments if it is true that in Ireland there's not a single snake, and let me know if it is specifically a thing that St. Patrick banished all the snakes from there. It's so funny. It would be so funny if there is like some references and jokes that people say to be like, oh, St. Patrick will banish you. If you don't behave, St. Patrick will banish you like he banished all the snakes or something like that. It would be so fucking hilarious.
No! Get away from me! Get away from me! There's a big bunch of strawberry nibbles! No! Oh, Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ! It hurts! My entrails are out! Why would you even want to eat these? They're soaked with my stomach acid! Oh, Jesus Christ! Lord Savior and Spirit! Save me! Take me to the light! Oh my God, I see demons!
But I mean, St. Patrick, you know, this is the reason why I celebrate the March 17th as well. This is the whole reason why the name Patrick is probably as common. So he has to go in our top tier, Happy Patrick bitch. And of course, I will put him under Patrick Swayze. Don't send hate comments in the comments, please. Irish followers, I'm not saying objectively speaking that Patrick Swayze or even Patrick Star from SpongeBob is better than St. Patrick. I'm just saying that maybe within pop culture it's not as iconic. Did I save it? I hope I did. These last two black and white weirdos are gonna be a surprise to every single one of you. The first one here, his name is William Patrick Hitler, and he's the nephew of Adolf Hitler.
What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you?
And hold on, he's not a Nazi. Fun enough, he was actually fighting for the British Empire, the Nazis. But there are so many funny anecdotes because basically like he asked his uncle to get a job. This is before, of course, he went to England and before he got naturalized as well. And basically the job that his uncle gave him sucked so hard that he was like so dissatisfied with it that he asked his uncle for another job, and he wrote to him with blackmail threats of selling embarrassing stories about the family to the newspapers unless basically he gave him like a normal job that he liked. This guy here, he sent like fucking threats to Adolf Hitler himself just because he couldn't find a job that he liked. The weird story doesn't stop there because he fled Nazi Germany at some point in his life and he blackmailed his uncle again with a letter, and this time around he was basically threatening that he will tell the press that Adolf's alleged paternal grandfather was actually a Jewish merchant. No idea if it's true, but once again this guy was like, oh, just gonna threaten one of the most powerful and scary people in Europe right now who is waging war everywhere. Chill, really chill. And of course he didn't get back to him. Hitler didn't really send him any texts or messages or didn't really FaceTime him enough. So he basically wrote an article when he came back to London which was called Why I Hate My Uncle for the Look magazine. This guy is so fucking petty. This is like the most petty Patrick that I've seen in my entire life. And then of course he actually went to war and he started fighting his uncle and shit like that. But I find it so funny to imagine that he did that just because his uncle wouldn't give him like a good job. It's so fucking petty. This is like the pettiest Patrick I've ever seen. And it's such a funny story and I have to put it up there into Happy Patrick bitch. It's so fucking funny. It's so funny. Let's not put it above St. Patrick, otherwise people would fucking freak, because at the end of the day this guy is a Hitler. He's 100% a Hitler. And the last guy here is another really crazy motherfucker. We're staying in England once again, and this is a serial killer called Patrick Mackey, and he's actually still alive today. He's one of those people who stayed most of his life in prison basically. He's been there for 47 years and he's one of the most prolific serial killers in British history, and he's killed 13 people, and it was really fucking weird. And I think he was actually like diagnosed as a psychopath in his teenage years, so people already knew that he was a bit fucked up, and nobody did anything, and he ended up killing like a lot of people. And he has a lot of really weird images as well of himself. He's still in prison, and he actually changed his name, maybe hoping that he would get released, but the British government was like, nah, you're never getting out, fuck off. This is everything bad that comes with being a Patrick, you know? So we have to put him in the lowest category ever. This guy sucks even more, or at least as much as the plantation guy there. Okay, that is basically it. We've ranked 27 Patricks. Let me know in the comments who is your favorite Patrick, and let me know in the comments what I should do for my birthday besides ranking other Patricks. Of course, I didn't put myself because I would win at every single category. I'm way too famous, I'm way too beautiful, I'm way too many good things. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Every single like that you drop will go to Patrick, so myself, and it will count as a happy birthday. And then I will regroup all of these likes and use them to feed my own ego. Because I'm getting really close to 30 and I'm still making YouTube videos and not earning a single cent. I hope you're proud of me. I'm Patrick, and this is Torn Apart.
You're getting old. Is that a bold spot, even though you've grown? We think you're still hot. It's your birthday, we'll make you feel right. We get to groove on body all night. Cause it's your birthday, you didn't tell us, but we still got to get you're still hot.